Hello and welcome, my name is Lynx, we are playing Senescence. To be honest, both episodes were wild. I mean, with the first one you've seen everything, with the second, maybe not everything, but it still was wild, and we probably are still on that train. A train of wildness. This game is really crazy. Anywho, let's continue. Only a few blocks down from the locale of our liaison is the destination for apparently the primary objective. As soon as we enter, I hover my gaze around the steel expanse, then stop the moment after. Whenever I turn my head, I hear my rotors. It's so embarrassing being low spec. In a way, kind of funny, huh? How our approach has changed. In the past, your PC's making noise was telling you, oh nice, it does the work. Now it makes noise. Ah, why are you doing that? Shut up! Anyway. My archaic GPS system working with my decentralized memory tells me exactly where we have found ourselves. It's a rather... well, the only remaining independent robotics workshop in the district. GPS, huh? It's funny, I mean, I did not have to drive like that myself, but it's funny how I still remember how you had to actually navigate while using a map. Which, maybe not surprisingly, actually a lot of people don't know how to use anymore. Crazy. Then I guess when I started driving, well, the mobile packets were not so good that, you know, you could use actual GPS. So you would download or find an app that would have maps without connecting to the internet. And now you just type in where you want to go and go. I mean, you know, in a way, it's more convenient now with that, at least. Too bad that the data is stored somewhere. As fewer consumers rely on products outside of Neuralcom's supported firmware, there were plans to evict this business within the next trimester for a new data center installation in its place. Sounds terrible. I hope all data centers that are created right now fail miserably. So those companies also fail miserably. That's what I wish for them. Anyway. Not exactly the lap of luxury, but even an employee would be surprised how much merely the scraps of NC establishments give you to tinker with. I mean, you have a car of some sorts over there. Understanding I'm well enough aware of the economic climate in this district, the doctor breezes through the introductions while treading through the lackadaisical machinery crowding in space. At that space. For a small establishment, they appear to have industry standard equipment enough to promote an optimal productivity score for 2, perhaps 3 people maximum. Really? I thought that would be like 4. Remembering to forget all of my qualms with the illegality of it all, not out of apathy, but out of redundancy, I continued to follow the doctor. Anyway, everyone made a big fuss over the laws being changed once Neuralcom took over the industry, but no one really knows what exactly they did. Not even the bots themselves could give a clear answer. And then amongst actual technicians, it was like either blind riding or fence sitting. So annoying, no one got to the bottom of it. Not that any public outcry would ever make a dent, and here we are. You've been testing deviations of the laws? Well, yeah, pretty much. I suppose you could say scientific research is important for making new discoveries. I'm glad you were able to get permission to use some of our products. That is, using robots that are prepared with modified laws so long as you keep it quiet. You did what? But the androids are kept on track! It's easy enough nowadays to build a robot without any parts that have serial numbers. Just give them a command to keep their specs a secret. You haven't told anyone your specs, right? I mean, she's been in her audio all this time, so no, she did not tell you anything. So basically, would you download a car if you could? Hell yeah, I would. Of course not! That is illegal! But if I can help to clear any misconceptions in our way to this robo-political discourse, I will... Yeah, good robot. Maybe another time. Come in here. For now, I just want to make you feel like yourself again. The darkened hallway makes me acutely self-conscious, and her words at the forefront of my processors brings on an urge, to be honest. I'm a robot, Doctor. This sense of self you wish to uncover is code just as my other processes are. That was the case even before the Robotics Ethics Charter. But if that was really the case, wouldn't a genius like me have been able to replicate the program? Replicate? But this is your design. Didn't you build this body too? Assembled from instructions, yes. But built? Well... She gestures to an unmarked door in the position of a storage closet and opens it. Oh. Oh. She's kinda crazy, isn't she? Not like I didn't know that, but... Can't you see that's my only regret? Before me is a landscape of eerily recognizable shapes. Robots are given guidelines to simulate emotions for realistic intent in our actions. Here it took a significant amount of processing power to gauge how a human might react to witnessing this uncanny scene. But I quickly grasped the reality of the situation, that I indeed had been made ready for this moment several times over. My cameras flitted amongst the timeless misfortunes, sprawled the room with reckless abandon, pinpointing an infinite feedback loop of concerns. I'm only taken out of my trance when she pats my shoulder with a firm hand. Well, Valerie, what do you think? You see... I'm truly at a loss of words, but I'm prompted for feedback. With her question, so I spit wildly. It must be because I'm a robot, Doctor, that I truly commemorate your efforts, because you seem to be a skilled and talented individual who applies effort, and I appreciate what you have done for me, but I cannot ascribe any merit towards things and violate the codes of the Neuralcom district, even if a human might attribute it to an act of justice, even if it is the individual's belief that in the future this act may lead to a greater common good and... You don't have to believe in justice. Valerie, I'm not doing it for that. As far as you should be concerned, I'm just doing it for my robotics theory. With a wink and a finger to her lips, she shuts the closet door. Oh, I already proved it. You did? How? At my question, she eyes up my antiquated figure beneath the change of clothes, then refutes me with a soft exhale and a warm expression. I finally found you. She slides her hand from my shoulder to my hand, then caresses it. But I can't figure out why, because we're not going anywhere anymore. She faces me now, and her free hand cups my chin. There are flats beneath my feet where before there were heels, so there's a significant gap between our faces. I wonder if my office brain would be able to parse the intent in her stare. She's smiling, but it doesn't really feel like one. Who's that? Is she another crazy one? Even though you're clearly in danger, of course you failed to do anything about it. Even an
executive man-class simulacrum is not sophisticated enough to weigh alternatives and ever demise unpleasant for you.
What? I turned in bewilderment at the voice entering stage left. Passing me to greet the voice, the doctor whispered in my ear.
This will all work out for us.
When I fully turned my head, I met with a new face who shares a half-hearted greeting with the doctor. It seems almost as if she's more surprised to see her than me. While I no longer have capabilities for detailed facial recognition, that's good. I still grasp a sufficient amount of confidence in the situation, but this human is likely the actual owner of this establishment, or the legal inheritor. Or should I say legal, to be fair, but whatever. Okay, now I'm not sure who is talking.
Records of history educate us on which acts are and should be punishable by law. I abide by those guidelines to predict the most optimal future for human beings. I'll reiterate, a robot wouldn't even have righteousness, let alone the right to chastise a human. But if humans had no adoration then? Abort feedback! Regardless of looks or speech software, a robot is a robot. Putting their bodies on the line for our desires is all very good for. Are you saying all machines are the same? I didn't say you could speak, but if you wish to see it that way, sure, an apparatus to carry out tasks until it breaks and can be repaired to reach its dissolution.
Humans are not logical, but robots cannot even think. Something fitting the description of despair wells up in me the longer I keep my mouth shut, staying quiet because nothing I say would be helpful. And just as quickly I feel reward signals as someone ruffles my hair.
But that isn't to say there aren't good robots. Doctor!
This probably isn't a good time, but were you seriously dressed like that in public just a little while ago? I see no issue.
So this is it, huh? It's done.
The other engine clearly knows of me, and yet refuses to say my name outright.
Isn't she totally the cutest thing ever? Look how you can see her wheels spinning and she freezes up. When you walked in, her pupils totally looked at you. Well, I didn't really notice. She had on those dorky Neuralcom elf ears, and her joints were hidden behind silicone. Horrific! Oh, and here is all the pictures I took of the demolition. I didn't ask for this! You took this of your own volition, goddammit!
Sulking, turning her back and plugging the SD card into a nearby laptop before clicking. You still are going with SD cards, nice. Through the digital gallery, the doctor resigns from the conversation. I stood awkwardly, unsure what to do, but a voice addressing me gave me a directive.
Hey, are you still operating on NEC software? I have a question for ya. Of course, I'll answer on behalf of the company. With the signing of the ethics charter to cut costs, what was the justification? Well...
It was far from a straightforward question, but I didn't mind at least change of pace.
You ask me questions because of the human desire for constant feedback. Without the desire, the cohesion of society would be impossible. And still, human history is a series of petty fights sparkled from conflicting ambition. In each, they fear gravitates them closer to total destruction.
Oh, yeah. Then again, doesn't it feel good that a certain country will eventually destroy itself? Dude, I so hope nobody will give a helping hand to them when they lose. And that, by that I mean the country of the bunker boy. The one that started the war and pretends he didn't. Fucking pathetic asshole. Anyway.
Civilization was formed not because of willingness, but because of need to be assimilated in structures. Nations came because humans realized how incapable they were of self-governing. Robots should regulate human affairs precisely because we lack desire. And with the updated laws, robots of neural command are programmed to accept the futility of rejecting change. Therefore, we can advance optimally as not an individual cell, but as a conglomerate. Wrong. Eh? Systems are convenient, yeah, but you specifically were made because billionaires didn't want to pay both employees and an electro bill, kind of leaving us humans out to dry, huh?
So true. You're so correct about that.
That's not my fault. Exactly. See where your logic is flawed? Bring absolute order to the world. For what reason and who even wants that? Robotic CEO, but her explanation reeks of human greed.
She's irate yet aloof, tapping things in her surroundings. It reminds me of my employee, who's always fidgeting with her hands whenever she's in programming. This human in front of me is chock full of malicious words, but can't even maintain eye contact. I wonder if the words could even be considered a threat. She's correct for. I understand many humans act like this, but here it sticks out in a way that underscores the crudeness towards robots in her speech. Do these many people who live under Neuralcom's protection really hate robots? If you bring me Care's Frontline 2 Exilium girls, I'm fine with them. And they don't even need to go to war or anything. That's unnecessary. Just enjoy the life. If you talk about other rust buckets, I don't want them. Anyway.
We are an advanced decision-making system that does not involve organic labor. I was programmed to help make the world prosperous, and I will do that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, do we really need all that advancement? I don't think we do. I feel like we should, kind of take it easy for now. Dude, the rat race is so ridiculous. Hopefully, they fail miserably because of that. And hopefully that will not produce bad results for actual society, Anywho.
Isn't it self-righteous to say the world cannot be prosperous without robots?
Yeah, it can.
Manufacturers steal for programs to override the current natural order. Can you give me a good reason as to how that is helping humanity, huh? Because... I know you'd say, because I know better than humans. It's okay, you can be straight with me, but you won't, because even a child could see the absurdity of the statement if it left a mechanical voice box. But really, the only ones who you're helping are the zombies disillusioned enough to think robots will bring them the reassurance they seek. And 90% of active robots being genoids represents the ultimate truth. Hashtag Yuri Sweep, hashtag the world, hashtag Jojo.
Not even a bit later, Dr. chimed in with a far cry from the discussion. Speaking of Far Cry, I should play Far Cry 6. I do have it now.
Case in point! My robot gallery is down in numbers, Valerie blowing up.
What?
No, I'm not. Dummy, not spontaneous combustion. I mean, lots of people are looking at your sexy robot guts online right now. Oh, blowing up is slang. I see. Thank goodness. Wait, what do you mean line? Yep. Such an attention seeker, aren't ya? And I'll teach you another meaning of blowing up when, by the way. Within the next 10 minutes. We need to come of it! Okay, you two goofballs. Let's get down to brass tacks. Sorry, who's the goofball, huh? Firstly, we must cover the basics. The third law of self-preservation isn't protecting one's body or ability to perform. It's protecting yourself. You can conflate the two, but the self has as little to do with the body than the clothes on our backs. If the robot is capable of defining the self, it means it is the most godly thing on the planet. Well, there is just several wearing beliefs. But the robot can't really define anything itself, can it? No, by itself. But she's the only model capable of pulling from Valerie's cached memories to support performance. None of your other models were able to do that. With intent coercion. This one did it unprompted. Was it? In that case, memory and the self are still separate, right? No, because Valerie is a unique, irreplaceable experience. Something precious to me, and she's definitely Valerie standing here. I know that. If no Valerie as a spirit in that way, but then it's in your mind and self, similarly lost in the past. Doctor, if I may intrude you, yourself said metacognition is impossible. I would be happy to pull from whatever database might help you with your problem, but specific moments I'm presently unaware of will not be permissible for me to access, even if this is the original in which they were experienced. I could list them and you see if you remember. Don't you dare. Valerie the frigid she E0, both with memory issues, was the office you. So it was a different person. It's different from that. Look, I've already proven that this robot standing before me is the one. Not to mention, whatever emotional model she had gained post-charter caused her to choose this exact appearance and exact name for herself. Are you going to say it's a coincidence? It's truly a stretch. When asked who she was earlier, what did she say? I'm a Maven class simulacrum developed by Neuralcom Industries. That's not them. The charter's programming is incalculably powerful. If I just go all willy-nilly and force her to reacclimate, I may erase the memories forever. It will take time, and I keep understanding what kind of monster we are dealing with. If time is all you need, then you will never have enough. I do. I'll prove it today. Right now. In fact, to the lab.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Surely you don't need my help. Call it sisterly bonding activities. I mean bonding. I feel like I'm losing you by the day for... Haha, don't worry. You're all the talent in the family.
The engineer looks pensive, so I ask a question.
It's nothing crude, is it? That should be the least of your worries, Valerie. You know what I have on you.
Dodging the question, the doctor spins me by my shoulders.
You've already uploaded those photos on the internet! I know, and you can thank me later. I was talking about your clothes shopping thing. Wait! Clothes shopping? The robots have vanity now? This world is sick! I know. What will her employees think? When I leak the screenshots, that is, if you don't get your cute robot moving... that is... I said I'll do it!
Oh boy, I'm kinda worried, man. She said, let's go to the lab. I'm worried right now. Clearly, if my body was faulty, my reputation as a Neuralcom CEO has been compromised. This has already been made clear to me. Well, I had a thought, and I lost it. Would it really be wise to distrust the doctor at this point? Yeah? It's not just my reward system telling me this, right? Up to now, she has wished to help me, so it can be wrong. Yeah, sure. She wished to help you, yeah, right. Damn. How do you even manage that? Like, what? To be fair, don't tell anyone, but I should get one of my monitors to the store. So they can either repair it or replace it, or I don't know, give me a money return or whatever. But I'm still using it. And it's only going to get worse, I bet, but whatever. But yeah, I also would like a third monitor. At the same time, I was thinking, what if I got another desk and would plant the old TV on the side And with that, just have 3 monitors that way, basically. Yeah. I must think about that. Or maybe not even a desk, but like I wonder if some sort of small, super small table, like kinda like a bedside table kind of thing. But I need it to be tall. Preferably same height as where I have the monitors normally. And then smack the TV there. The thing is, I don't even watch TV, so I could disconnect that. At least I would finally have a use for that thing. Just this screenshot, by the way, made me think that. She has so many monitors here. Holy crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Wow. What do you need so many for, right? Is it all programming? It might be. And I think it's one computer connected to all of those. So you would need multiple graphics card for that, right? While I'm undressed for the third time in 12 hours, oh my god, the two talk amongst themselves.
But we need to trigger an event where this old personality is required per reference to access these old memories. Then from there it will be smooth sailing. You say that, but I get the feeling I'll need more info down the line. Okay, then just listen to me.
The doctor then makes some vague hand motion, to which the shorter engineer watches, then follows by circling behind me. Oh no. Here we go again. And I'm suddenly being held by my armpits, the joints held in a way that wedges them. Dude, there's even a cable visible there still.
I'd like to tell you that it'll be over soon, but knowing her I can't promise anything.
To this, the doctor makes her usual smirk. Unable to react, I notice that this verbal caveat seems out of character from the harsh critic I spoke to mere minutes before. She's smaller than me, but stronger. What? How? But Maven-class robots like me aren't very strong. Ah, okay. Nor is this mannequin-class giant body that I have found myself in. Yeah, this is... Yeah, anyway.
Turn off your tactile inhibitor, please. No! What is that? Why won't she? Pain sensors. What? Why does she have that? Don't ask things you're not prepared to know the answer to. What? Look, how many turn them off then? I said don't! Not until last moment!
The last? Wait. Oh, it's the doctor who said that, I guess.
I just don't know about her having the concept of painful, like it feels evil. An interesting thought, but the notions of cruelty may solely rely on the feelings of the instigator, but I digress. I'd probably rather get all abusive with it than go into robot discourse with someone who says I digress. Alright, then shut up and do it my way. Please, please, do not mistake my helping hand as an excuse to bully me. What do you mean? That's exactly what we're gonna do. Just please don't waste my time then. Whoa, if you insist, we'll get started right away. She's wizened up anyway. Wizened up to what? You see that red arrow above her butt?
No.
Hey? Yeah? Oh no! Oh yes, pull it out. Is this necessary?
She plucks something out of my rear with a rubber pop. It feels as if a third illogical cavity has formed there.
Power supply terminated unexpectedly. The system is shutting down.
What? Huh? Why all of a sudden? The two are discussing something, but I get continuous safeguards in place of processing their speech.
There we go, going up.
Power supply connected. Shutdown cancelled.
Okay. And then when I wake, there is a foreign object slithering in my internals.
Look how she stiffens up as she shivers in... when connected to the power supply. Look, it's exactly how she used to.
With a look of excitement bordering on With a look of excitement bordering on insanity, the doctor reaches for my backside again.
Watch this time. Hey, what?
Power supply disconnected. Limited reserves available. This system is shutting down.
Hey, she's switching.
Yo! Auxiliary battery directed. Switching to reserve power.
See, that should have been enough. Oh, something's stuck. They're just doing the turning it off and on again with extra steps. Doctor! Oh. Why is my power supply in such a place you can easily remove? Oh, damn it. Because only good little robots get to get battery power. What the hell? I mean, shut up. You didn't hear that. This is part of the process. Quit playing around and take it apart. I don't want to hold it forever. I need to see what's going on. I'm not sure why I can't get all the way through. See the other button deeper in, the green arrow? Are you serious? Don't we need an impact driver or something? I have my own impact driver, so it's okay. Oof. Good grief. What are you doing? Removing recover. It's a pain. Just unlatch it already. Open sesame. Fine. Eh? Her body opens some from here? Something like this? Honestly, that was kind of delicious. Yeah, super erotic, right?
No.
Don't put me down without my permission!
It must be because I'm on reserve power now that my permission was bypassed. Then again, I'd be foolish to think I wouldn't have it taken from me by force regardless.
But why does the lower body part come off like that? It seems so unintuitive.
Oh my god, I noticed something there as well in... I see what you did in the internals. Oh my god, Jesus.
It's actually exceedingly simple. You see, her build makes everything very convenient. Anyway. Convenient? For an objective of pervert like you! Quiet, let me work. Ooh!
And power supply connected.
How does that feel, Valerie? If we do this, it may get in between your studies. I'll let you get your freak on with my sister around, so be grateful.
The two of them are sisters?
This is purely a medical procedure! You're all stiffened up, just a little more. Here we go. Enough! Surely this cannot be helpful. Oh, relax, Valerie. I won't turn you off. I'll make sure you feel good while I play with you. In this medical procedure. I seriously can't watch this.
You're not the only one, kind of, to be honest. Fed up, my support is placed with hanger wires.
You're weak. Plus, we're just getting started. We need the display first and foremost. Press on her. Body for those. Somehow I feel like I could have guessed where they were, knowing you. You're smart. Huh?
No. The engineer doesn't look at me and hesitates before pressing hard on the center of both my body and once with her index finger. Somehow I didn't expect all of that. I expected gore, but not that.
Kill!
Two cylinders eject with a metallic pop. dribbling out some excess coolant fluid as I jolt upright in surprise. As the detached parts of my body swivel around weakly, the engineer fastens 3 bolts into each one to maintain a stable connection to the PC at the cable's other end.
New device connected. Home PC.
And as the display boots up, a sharp shock pierces my detached elements of body.
Seems like I may have gone a little overboard in there. Ah well, a lick or two never killed anybody.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Seemingly getting all that she needed for now, the doctor proceeds to desktop computer.
I'm surprised this robot is very durable. Well, maybe that's what you'd expect for something like this.
Do you know, her NC body had all the details too, but just cosmetic.
For real! Leave it to Neuralcom to provide pointless bloatware.
Yeah.
And yet clearly their use is more practical than a layman might think. Pristine pickups confided to an office corridor charging niche. Like a deep sea pearl, I see the appeal.
Is she going off topic on purpose?
I don't want to think about that. But I seriously wonder about this hardware's applicability. I might need else to see those pictures after all. For research purposes, mind you. I already put them behind a paywall, so too late for you. Excuse me? Suggesting photos of Maven class simulacra is strictly prohibited and is cause for major consequences! Oh really? I had no idea. Doctor, it is obvious! It seems her language synthesis isn't vast enough to detect sarcasm. True, she's so dumb. I do not appreciate these jokes at my expense because language is such a complex and abstract concept. It has been historically an uphill battle in robotics to implement accurate sarcasm detections in products. Oh, shut up, robot. Yeah, shut up, robot. Whatever. Let's stay on task. Could there be something else to trigger the personality back online? From what I know, those flashes of memory occur once a familiar sensory signal is detected, which suggests a preloaded visual input. See? These are the time codes from earlier. It happened here and here. The cache is being filled with things as we go, so I just have to keep doing things she's used to.
Used to? What? The doctor starts teasing, and the hydrogel solution reserves slowly seep out. She's drooling, basically.
Don't! Ah! Still stuck. Is this really the best way to force format her various disks?
Surely detached from the doctor's narrative, the engineer attempts to veer the conversation back to whatever the initial plan is.
Do you want to switch places and do it your way? No! No, doctor!
Things are getting so dizzy, and I release a scream without thinking.
That's what I thought. Ah, that worked. Here we go.
What the fuck? The tube goes further, all the way through my throat cavity.
This tentacle is CNT reinforced. It must have been quite expensive. They're using such a good materials in such a way.
Girls like you are so easy to read?
It's an OS appliance. Anyway, this in general is general purpose. So what about all the physical parameters? The way things are now, it's easier to just read it ourselves on the monitor than ask for her everything. That's why we're getting her in a state where as many processes are running at once. She can't reference the parameters herself? Nope, and that's the crux of the issue. But also in this debug menu I can do cool shit like make her 3000 times more sensitive to the touch. Hold on! Damn it, then I'll cut the cord so you stop whining. Stop it, girl. Fine.
Ugh. The doctor studies the display for several minutes, the complete dismemberment of all my data being read at once without care or effort causes a strange sensation to emerge as I'm left literally hanging here to dry.
So, in simple terms, in order to access the memory, you need the personality. And in order to access the personality, you need the memory. Yeah. They're both there, but they both have to naturally coalesce. It means this is a sham. This body is different from the replica attempts, as well as those NC firmware demos you got. No, it just means I'm getting closer. I have the mannequin class and NC's firmware burned into my retinas, but I have never seen those before.
The doctor gestures at some unreadable metric, and her sister peers at it too.
It's like it's corrupt. Well, is it? No. Maybe it was erased after all on the first body swap after all. You cannot create a robot without the third law, and cannot rot without it. That isn't a rule, that's just how things work. And you can't have self-preservation without a self to preserve.
By this point, the doctor's tone has gone completely serious, to the point I feel silly from where I'm standing. Standing? I'm more like hanging. The two are having a dialogue about parameters I want to pick up on, but the stimulus from all these sources is too much to handle on its own.
Multiple factor hardware errors detected. Please contact Neural Collective Services to request immediate pickup.
This warning signal seemed to startle the both of them, and the doctor's dark expression carried as she stepped away from desk towards me.
That's not possible. You're mine and only mine, Valerie.
Oh shit, she got electroshocked.
You're not allowed to leave me. Only I can take you apart. Even for you, you're barely functioning. You're still trembling when I play with you. So, you must love me so much.
The taser burned my receptors to a crisp, leaving me no room to refute, let alone think of anything at all.
Just stay quiet if you don't want me to hurt you for real, Valerie.
She goes back to the computer and studies it in silence. I truly wish to be of use, but the only thing I can do is be an effigy. If only I knew what exactly the doctor was asking from my data that was laid bare on the monitor spread. The pain from my various validations flares and reflects what the damage means, but my body will not respond to its commands. For robot, pain is the fear of this solution, and yet I don't wish for anything else but for the pain to end. That must mean nothing more than I'm a failure. But I was useless to begin with, being forced to turn inside out for the sake of reading such simple parameters.
Is it crying? Oh, cute. What kind of function? She can't really feel the pain, can she? It's complicated. Regardless, she's fine, just a little more.
The doctor turns back to the screen, apathetic.
Clearly there must be something. Oh, look! The battery reserves are dwindling from when you taste her. We don't have much time unless you think putting the battery back in is... it will be troublesome if she's in full power. Just more warnings and bullshit. I'll need this much to figure this out.
That's right, don't even stop. Don't stop even if it hurts. This is just how I'm being used by the doctor. Even if it hurts, I must continue to serve humans. Or else...
I'll be nothing! Nah, can't risk it after all. Ah, piece of junk. I want to play more with her. Excuse me? I thought this was an experiment.
All at once, the massive extended length is pulled out from the organs, out of my middle and out, violently causing friction against the already sputtering parts. A cavity of corroded hardware is left from where the giant connection device ran through. A cold void that causes me to stumble backwards, the steel wire hoisting me straight.
Look at that. You pretended you hated it, but look, now you can't even stand without it. Hang in there, let's get those things off you.
Surely despair is a congruent that requires dismounts that prevent me from crumbling to the floor too.
You're a spoiled rodent, you know that.
The doctor approaches me and hovers her hands around all my exposed internals.
Finally stop squirming. Good. You look even cuter now.
She shows the piece back, and my power switches to high functioning.
On your feet, Valerie. We gotta get your reserve power back up.
She spunks me, which fastens the power supplies, and startles me fully awake. I wince but then respond as it feels as it would take for her to trust my worth.
Understood. Do what you must. Good, robot. That's enough.
Directly behind my ear I can hear the agitation in my tormentor sister's voice, clearly fed up, and yet she doesn't let go.
We have many backups, so it's fine if a few things go wrong anyway. I said enough!
The doctor stopped short, the engineer released me, then looked down at me as if to say goodbye. Instead, her eyes said, "Good riddance."
I see you're just playing around after all. Don't get me involved in this. It may seem like playing around to you, but this is the only way to extract this information out of her. You're literally destroying it. Clearly, it's just not going to work. Just let it go. Oh, stop flipping whining and just help me out. You don't need to read the damn screen while I work. Is that really too much for you? I was prepared to help, but it's impossible for me to watch this so far and genuinely believe that you will get something out of it besides your own sick fantasies. You don't know a damn thing then. And if she gets her memories back, we'll literally prove anything to take down and see. She never let it go, so I won't either. She didn't let go of anything. It's a computer, and data gets lost. It just happens. I'm done here. Just because your robotic stat scores were shit. No matter how hard you tried, you could never graduate. So who's really trying in vain, huh? Would it really be worth the effort to get a degree as prestigious as yours if I just turned out like you did, huh?
The doctor storms out without sparing me another look. And then the air was completely vacant, except for me and the one who had been hoisting me up from behind. She pulls out there and lays me behind on it.
It was a failure. Far from it, finally she can put this damn theory to rest.
I do indeed feel lost. I couldn't help bring them justice. The world around me and the engineer felt small. With nothing to do, I watched the mask pull off her face and she inhaled. She seemed to be annoyed at me watching and she glared back.
Gee, look at you.
She took a while to wipe me down and put all the parts back into the proper place, but it was a delicate procedure, leaving no stone unturned, taking extra care to make sure none of the restraints dragged from my skin, and the cables were disconnected out without friction. This one is nice one. She's normal.
Will this body be scrapped now that the experiment is over? I don't know what's going to happen here, Valerie. It would only be logical. Don't say it all depressing like that. I apologize. I'm sorry too that it turned out like this for you. Every I am is a gift from your world. It's unnatural things play out this way. If a robot can insert their role, another will swiftly take its place. That is why Neuralcom may operate at max productivity, and that is similarly why it has become a widespread rumor that we have eliminated the third law. Did you say gifts? Gifts from what? I don't know, but that's the only way I can see it. Your gifts are more complicated than mine, but it causes me pain to know you hate robots because of it.
She's silent for several seconds.
I don't hate robots. I'm bitter because of the lambs humans abuse them. Cruelty is a gift as compassion and love are. Abuse in a different sense than cruelty, Valerie. What is she saying? What is she saying again? What is the saying? Tools won't fix a people problem? It would be foolish to blame robots for the world's problems. I just have no other way to think about it, because the rational animal is always looking for morally correct reasons to be cruel to others. That's just how we are. Like, obsessively looking around expecting people to clap. It's a kind of dismissal of accountability that will inevitably homogenize all human feelings. This kind of system you robots have built, coddling and sucking up under the guise of objective, omnipresent observation, wrapped in a bow of animal-like innocence. is the perfect crime for trapping people into the worst version of themselves. I see. Human beings need to express their emotions somehow, and yet without proper guidance it may be harmful. See, you're just programmed to parrot what I said back, to make me feel important. Oh!
While proving her point, the engineer laughed slightly. Where the doctor was a stranger sent to torture me, her sister feels like an actual practitioner, and this is just regular care and maintenance.
I don't know. I don't blame anyone. It's comforting to believe even for a second that it's not helpless. So, to say you're not experiencing anything would just be false, I'd say. Even if human expression is just data in your internal sensors, the complete disregard of any connection is... this is stupid. Why am I registering as a robot? I'm falling for the facade, that's all, just like she is.
The engineer shakes her head and puts the brush she was using to groom me down at once.
Well, I enjoyed listening to what you were saying. Yeah. I don't care. You're just a stupid robot.
She pulls up her mask and takes to her feet, and I watch her the whole way through forgetting that it made her uncomfortable. Something is genuinely clicking for me, and yet I cannot possibly put it into words. Still, I want to make an attempt to tell her. But any attempt of an explanation is gone, as a commotion arises in the main room.
Oh, stay here, will you?
Okay, I will.
Also, don't worry about what's going on and don't intervene. I won't worry, I'm a robot, so...
A dismissal of both me and the responsibility, she approaches the front door to a figure whose head above its 2-meter frame was just above the door frame, as if to keep itself anonymous. But anyone who lives in this district wouldn't need a face to recognize a Neuralcom security class unit.
Good afternoon. We have received reports of a Neuralcom robot being kidnapped, and we have gotten tips concerning your workplace.
I have no idea anything about that.
Doing business with non-Neuralcom employees is strictly prohibited. Has anyone fitting that description entered your store recently?
No, sorry.
Even though they contribute so little, basically invisible, this independent business would take the blame if anything slightly threatened the system of infinite innovation. There were no reports nor tips. This is a scripted damage control procedure I'm aware of. What really happened is that since the robot is missing from my charging niche, they're claiming a kidnapping to cover their bases, as a Maven-class simulacrum being missing is a giant breach of internal security. Following the uploaded images of brutalized Maven-class simulacrum online, I can only imagine the wrench this has thrown in public relations. Funnily enough, a figurehead that provides similar in terms of labor was still a missing asset if it wasn't sitting pretty on display, perhaps more so than the efforts of this entire small business.
And just a quick reminder, the invoice concerning the parts you ordered for... Holy crap, $34,659.25 is now overdue. We are willing to waive the fees so long as you comply with the negotiations for the Neo Analytic Engine. They're using the internal security breach as an excuse to apply pressure to this independent business that is a subsidiary of Neuralcom. It's all within our rights after all.
I mean, I'm working on it still. It's just in an abstract state.
We cannot patent abstractions.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Your contract renews on the 28th, so please submit the code samples by then.
It will be done by then. Thank you.
This recording is now finished.
The masked engineer folded like a fax paper in the face of the machine with vocal synthesis capabilities, and told a blatant lie, because 1 week for that much code is an absurd deadline for a human. Unless telling lies to a robot is very illegal. Who cares? But despite all the discrepancies, I stay hidden away in the lab room, watching the exchange from afar.
Where is that idiot?
Even though there is immense pressure on their workplace being destroyed, they're doing contract work for Neuralcom.
A neo-analytic engine to sharpen the internal processes of robot brains. And thus give humans more reason to become passive, defunct, their senses all glazed over.
As far as you should be concerned, I'm just doing it for my robotics theory. I have both the mannequin classes and ANSYS firmware burned into my retinas. I've never seen these before.
Doctor. I have to keep in mind that robots exclusively see the back ends of things, whereas humans can be surprisingly skin deep. That is why creative minds are so dangerous, and dulled brains make for very good economic units. And as this clashing of natural order was playing out, I simply stood idly by, as for the humans that were being lined up for indoctrination were capable of resolving it themselves. Next thing I know, I'm being whisked through the air like I'm at the end of a fishing hook. I get dropped by a steel claw violently in the passenger seat of a vehicle, which takes off violently before the driver's cybernetic snake can slither back into its hole.
We're getting out here, Valerie!
Before I can even formulate the situation that any response could fit, we're moving 60 miles per hour. Okay, what is that incorrect unit? 97 almost kilometers per hour. Okay. So basically we are either going express road or, well, highway. Barely looking back as the driver adjusts her gold-rimmed glasses in the rearview mirror.
Where are we? Where are we going? Just be quiet and keep your head down. For now, if you question anything, it will just cause problems.
I nodded and made myself smaller, which somehow felt more comforting to do than any alternative.
Ah, damn it, I'll show them. I'll show all of them.
I don't know what you want to show them, but what I do know is... Seems like you have quite a collection of manga there. And only one monitor in this area, huh? Alright. What else? Let's end the episode. Oh my god. This game's crazy. It's so much craziness. It's kind of ridiculous. And dude, I don't know what to do, to be honest, with those scenes where she like does, let's see, dude, it's not medical, but what she does maintenance procedures, basically, you could say. Even though it's not maintenance, but what you would call it, basically. Testing stuff. But if Valerie was actual human, it would be torture, basically. But given that it's a she's a robot, I don't know what you would call that. It's crazy, basically. It's literally crazy, man. With that being said, let's end the episode. Which I already said, but whatevs. As always, consider liking the video. And if you're new around, consider subscribing. And have a fantastic day. I'm out.
Bye-bye.